The Screen and Its Fragments. A modern fairy tale freely adapted from Hans Christian Andersen. Now we start, and you have to be there. And when we get to the end of the story, you will know more than you do now about a very nasty leprechaun. He was a goblin of the worst kind, a real demon. One day he was delighted because he had invented a screen that had the peculiarity that everything good and beautiful that it reproduced shrank to almost nothing. On the other hand, everything bad and good for nothing stood out and looked the worst. The most beautiful landscapes he rendered looked like boring boiled spinach, and the best people became ugly, or they were upside down and had no bodies. Their faces were distorted beyond recognition, and if they had even one freckle, it seemed to spread all over their nose and mouth. The demon found this immensely amusing. When a good thought crossed someone's mind, it would turn into a grin when they looked at this screen, and that gave the demon real pleasure. All the pupils in the demon's school, because he ran a school, reported that a miracle had happened. Now, for the first time, it was possible to see what the world and people were really like. They ran around with the screen everywhere until finally there was no country or person left who had not been seen in this distorted screen. They even wanted to fly up into the sky with it to mock the angels. But the higher they flew, the more it grinned, so that they could hardly hold it, and finally it slipped out of their hands and fell to earth, shattered into hundreds of millions and billions of pieces. Even then, it did more damage than ever before. Some of these fragments were not as big as a grain of sand, and they flew all over the world and got into people's eyes. And once they were in, they got stuck there and distorted everything they looked at, or made them see everything that was wrong. Each tiny piece of screen had the same power as the whole screen. Some people even got a piece of the screen in their heart, and that was terrible because the heart became like a lump of ice. Some of the fragments were so big that they were used as camera lenses, but it was not advisable to look at your friends through these panes. Other pieces were made into glasses, and it was bad business to put those glasses on and think you were being fair. The evil demon laughed so hard his belly shook, it tickled him to see the mischief he had caused. When a good thought crossed someone's mind, it would turn into a grin when they looked at this screen, and that gave the demon real pleasure. The evil demon laughed so hard his stomach shook, it tickled him to see the mischief he had caused. People saw the world on the screens, and it was more interesting faster than their existence. They saw young, successful, beautiful, slim people who had everything without doing anything, and that poisoned their hearts day after day. And the more they looked into the screen, the more fascinated they were by what others had. But the demon had not created the screens to entertain people. He also sent everything terrible that happened anywhere through their eyes directly into their hearts to clot them. Nobody could avert their eyes anymore. People forgot how to live and talk to each other. Only a few people realized what was happening, but they couldn't fight the fascination of the screens. So switch off and go out. Look at the world only through your own eyes. Live your life. Don't compare yourself with the distorted images the demon has created, and be careful. There are fragments of the screen everywhere. Make sure they don't catch you.